friends, welcome back to Tam's Classy Creations, the channel where we break down projects so even a beginner can do it. Today I'm going to be making this soft Minky and flannel baby blanket. I'm not going to include the embroidery in this video, just the blanket. However, stay tuned to the channel because you may see it in an upcoming video. Like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. Let's get into the video. I have a yard of Minky now, and we can get 2 of the baby blanket tops out of it. The baby blanket ends up being about 36 by 30. So we have a yard, and what I do is I'll just pin the selvage edges together, and I just cut it the other end. So as you see, I've just cut it. So this gives you 2 good baby top blankets. So now I have my blanket top, and we need to put flannel for the underneath. Sometimes I can buy just about 30 inches of flannel, because if it will go this way, you know, your blanket is under 40 inches, it's only 36 a yard wide. But I decided in this one, I felt the flowers were going this way, so I did want to run mine this way on this one. So pay attention to any direction that you have on your fabric before you decide on which way to use your flannel. Now on this one also, if you are embroidering or doing anything, the Minky has a nap. You want to make sure that the nap goes this way, where it's soft, where it lays. This way it pulls up and it's not smooth. So I have a little bit of a direction, so I will go this way, but if you had cars and trucks, I do that on some of the baby blankets, and the fabric, the flannel will have cars and trucks. You want to make sure it goes the right way, so you may need just over like 37 inches for your blanket to go that way. And some people do embroider on the corner. I like that, and some will embroider in the center. That's just preference. This is how I make my baby blankets, and because of this one I need the 37 inches instead of the 30 inches and run it this way. Once you have your flannel cut now, remember it's going to be just a little bit bigger than your Minky. You need to press it. You need to get that crease out of it. You need to press it, because once you have this blanket together, you can't really press Minky. So then once you've pressed it, now I will have to do this on a flat surface, but what you're going to do is you're going to lay your Minky out, and you're going to have it all as flat as you can get it. And you are going to put pins in about every inch, maybe 2. And once you do that, and you need to really keep them in there, I'll show you a few tricks on sewing with Minky. I've started sewing around the Minky blanket, but let's go over a few things. Make sure when you pin, it is right sides together when you pin, the Minky and the right side of the flannel. Remember, you do put a lot of pins in. That is the key to holding this. And I'm going to demonstrate this with this stiletto with by Annie. And I kind of use it differently. I use it different for whatever project I do. But this project, I'm going to show you what I do. So let's get started. I have it on a regular 3.5 stitch length, or I'm sorry, 2.5 stitch length. And what I'm doing is I'm not sewing over any pins. So I pull the pins when I get really close, and I use this stiletto like a pin. All I'm doing is holding the Minky fabric down just like it was pinned, so I don't have to run over the pins. Because of the little lumps and the little things in the Minky, just keeping it down lets you, I'm going to use needle down too, but it lets you sew over it. Now this, I do a 1/4 to a 3/8 inch seam. Don't worry, 1/4 inch is a little bit harder. I am using the even feed or walking foot. I kind of think that's almost key, but I'm just using my stiletto to lay the material down just like it has a pin in it. And it seems to work for me. It's a trick. So I'm going to keep sewing. Pivot on the corners at a 1/4 inch and continue sewing. One of the tricks too, take your time. Use something to help lay that material down. Like I said, that's just what I use. It works for me. I use this thing a lot of different ways. Now, before we get done, you want to leave a hole, leave a space so we can turn this blanket. So that's up here. I have let's continue. Okay, now we're here. I'm going to leave this space open. Now we have this space here for turning it. But before we turn it, get my pins out of here, I want to, we're going to clip all the flannel to match the Minky, and then I am going to clip the corners. And then we're going to turn it, and I'll meet you back here. Okay, I have turned my blanket, and now this is key because you can't iron this. So what I like to do, I take the edge and I kind of little finger press that a little. And what you're going to do, kind of like the pins, I told you needed a lot of pins. Now I use these clips, and we need to clip this even. I'm going to clip it all the way up, all the way around, but before I do each time, I kind of do a finger press, and then we're just going to clip it even, and then we're going to top stitch it in it after we're done with that. So I'm going to continue clipping around this blanket. My blanket is all clipped now, and I got it under the sewing machine. What we're going to try to do is 1/8 of an inch. You could sew it from the other side, but I do like to sew because the top is what you're going to see. And it comes out, if you've got your clips in good and have your seam really even, it comes out good. So again, with a walking foot. Now this time I don't seem to need my stiletto as much. But if you do need it on some of these little lumps on this lumpy Minky, but I'm going to continue sewing all around it, and we're going to turn it corners. I'm going to stitch another stitch there. Now the corners are much harder to get it going. You might want to use your stiletto for that because the walking foot is not on the material, so it's not helping it very much on the corners. So you can use your hand wheel and move ahead a little stitch. That usually helps you. You can use the stiletto to get you to move. It is a little tough in the corners, and that's why, even though you have a walking foot, because if you look, those things in the walking foot aren't even on the material at 1/8 of an inch seam. But it does work. Yep, we're going again. Just the corners are a little tricky. So I'm going to continue sewing. Up here, I'm going to be where I have the opening. I usually put the clips real close so I know this is the opening. This part you do want to go really slow. If you want to hand stitch it after, you can, but you do want to go close, and I always like to know where it is, and you need extra clips. You will need your tool there. So we're almost to where I had the opening. Now I'm at the spot where we had it to turn. So this part, I probably really want to use my stiletto, but I want to go really slow on this part in particular. See, this wants to stick up a little bit. Okay, I'm going to continue going around and we'll meet back here with the finished blanket. I have finished sewing the blanket, and we have the monogram on the front, and that's what the back looks like, and it's really soft. I hope this video was informative. Now you can create your own blanket. That's all I have for you today. I hope everyone has a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.